Hey everybody, so I'm going to try to do our last lab today, and so I'm having some trouble with my camera. We'll see how well it works. But a quick overview, we remember that Newton had three laws about physics, right? And his first law says that an object at rest stays at rest, and an object in motion stays in motion, unless they're acted on by an unbalanced force. And we launched a penny against a wall, and we saw the penny fly off the car, and we did that whole lab. The second law said that the mass times the acceleration will equal the force on an object, and we did some calculations around that. This final law says that every force has an equal and opposite reaction force. And we watched some great videos of a guy trying to karate chop some coconuts in half and nearly breaking his hand on it. Because for every Newton of force that he puts on the coconut, it puts the same amount of force back on his hand. So what I've got here for this lab is one of my son's Duplos here. We've got a little car with a door on the back to make a convenient little storage spot. And we're going to need a driver for this car, so I've got this guy. There's a certain Disney mouse that I have, but I don't want to get sued by anybody, so we're going to just use this guy instead of that one. And I've made up these little packets of washers. Now, each one of these averages 67 grams. There's 5 heavy washers in here, and I wrapped them in some tape so they won't make too much noise, because right now it's 12:30 in the morning, and I don't want to wake anyone up. So what we're going to do is we're going to try putting these inside this little compartment, and we're going to drive the car down the ramp from 30 centimeters up, and it's going to roll down the ramp and then smash into the wall. And when it hits the wall, it's going to rebound off, and I'm going to measure how far it rebounds. So what I've got here is my data sheet, and we're going to recreate this in Excel later, but you can see 3 trials, trial 1, 2, and 3, with no washers, 0 grams of washers, and then an average. And we'll calculate the average in the spreadsheet again. We don't have to do that ahead of time. And then I'll do 67 grams of washers, which is 1 packet, and I'll do that 3 times. And then I'll measure how far it bounces off the wall each time. So let me start with this with 0 washers in, and we'll see what the resulting bounce is like. So here we go. So, taking my ruler, I'm going to measure from the center of the truck, and it looks like it bounced about 7 centimeters. So I'm going to put a 7 in there, and then we'll try it again. And that time, looks like we got about 8 centimeters. And then one more time. I've got, again, about 8 centimeters. So 7, 8, and 8. And so my question is, when I add washers to this, I'm going to increase the mass of the vehicle. Now, if I increase the mass, what is that going to do to the acceleration and the distance that this car travels? So, let's start by opening up this box, and I'm going to put in one of my packets of washers, and then I'm going to start from the top again, and we'll roll this guy down the hill. Ready? Here we go. And I measure the distance, and I've got 6 centimeters. And I'm going to do it again. And I've got 4.5 centimeters. And I've got 4 centimeters. Now, what did you think was going to happen when I added more weight to this? Did you expect it to go more or less? Let's try it with 2 packets of washers in here. What do you think is going to happen to the distance it travels? Look at that. 2 centimeters. One centimeter. 2 centimeters. Okay. Add a third packet. Let's see what happens. What do you think is going to happen now? 1 centimeter. 1 centimeter. There's barely any separation between the wall and the car there. Oh! That got me 2.5 centimeters, and my driver demonstrated Newton's first law and flew out of the front of the car and over the railing. Get back in there. You should have been wearing a seatbelt. Now, I don't want to call the end to a lab here early. We got one more row to go. What do you think will happen with this fourth bundle in here? Let's see. Ready? Here we go. Well, that one's got 4.5 centimeters. Interesting. It increased. That one's got 4 centimeters. I did not see this coming. Two and a half centimeters. So, there's our data. And when I take some averages, it looks like I'm going to get some descending data. These are going to get smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller. And then this one gets a lot larger. That is perplexing. And for the record here, I have 3 more sets of washers. And if I've learned anything from Mythbusters, it's go big or go home. So here is 7 bundles of washers. Let's see how much we can push this. I want to know from you. Yeah, 7 doesn't fit. So we're going to put this other one in behind the driver. What do you think's going to happen when I roll this down the hill? Am I going to get more or less bounce off the wall? Take a second to think about that. And then let's go. Seven. 6. And 4. Interesting. That is not something I expected to see. Okay, so I've got the data here. I'm going to put it all into a calculator, and then we will see what we can come up with. So thanks for watching, and don't forget to complete the questions that I assigned on the classroom at the same time. Bye.